Hello everybody, it's Raven Knight here, and it's time for another update video. And though it's a little late, I do want to wish everyone a very happy, belated Mother's Day. In fact, that's going to tie into something that I'm going to talk about later in my rant, but we'll get to that later. First, typical shill, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and don't forget to comment. We always read the comments, and feel free to check out the Teespring store where you can buy some merchandise, really help us out, and you can also become a patron over at my Patreon. Links are in the channel. Just go check it out. I would really appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. So starting off with personal stuff. Well, there's really not anything new to talk about, guys. Not a lot has really changed in my life. Nothing big anyway. And I want to stress this. I try to avoid being negative if I can. I feel like a lot of times when I go into the personal aspects of my life, it tends to get negative or depressing. And one thing that I'm really trying to do is avoid that kind of talk. I don't want to just come on every time and talk about, oh, this is what's going wrong in my life. No one wants to hear that. And you don't make friends that way. You know, I deal with a lot of people in my time who all they want to do is complain. All they want to do is talk about, this is what's wrong in my life, this is what's going on with me, oh, woe is me, poor pitiful me. In fact, me and Lark know a person specifically who they don't want to get involved with anything social, like that they don't want to hang out with the rest of us or be among the church group or friends. They don't want to do that unless they are capable of getting attention, which means that they could draw people's attention to them about their ailments or issues or things like that. Suffice to say, not a lot of people want to give them the time of day, but regardless of that fact, I try to avoid that. So I want to try to be more positive. I want to talk about the good things that go on as much as the negative. It's just that right now nothing's changed. There's nothing really positive, but there's nothing really negative either, you know? It's kind of like, it's one of those meh weeks. It's one of those, I guess this is what we're doing now. Work is still kind of exhausting, for sure, but I'm also working to get out of it. I had a great conversation with the pastor at our church about possible plans to move forward, and I'm going to be meeting with him again, but nothing's changed as of yet. So, you know, it's like good things, bad things, you take the bad with the good. I will say one thing, though, and again, it's a minor thing, but money is tight right now. So any assistance by, again, subscribing, watching the video ads, or just checking out the Teespring store, would really appreciate it, guys. All right, so with all that out of the way, let's leave that behind, talk about the video stuff. Okay, so, For Honor. Always got to start with For Honor. The new Legend video is out on Bao Shin. I hope y'all liked it. I worked pretty hard on it. I thought that it came out pretty well. It's not the most action-packed, and it does have a heavy Christian tint to it, I admit, but hey, I liked it. It was one of my ideas that I had way back when I first started playing Shaolin, especially when I saw that new head that you could get him where he had the beard. I always thought, hey, he looks kind of like David, King David. So I thought, let's do that, and it turned out pretty cool. Also, Heroes in History is going to be on Raider, like I said, but I don't expect it to be done this month. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys really like me working on those. Heroes in History on Raider probably won't come out until next month. I'm doing a lot of research on it, and with a lot of other projects going on right now, I just don't think I'll have time to really dedicate to it. Expect it sometime next month. Sorry. But in other news, I am working on another side video that may come out later on, maybe sometime this month, called A World Without. Because one thing that I think about a lot, this is actually a conversation that came up not too terribly long ago. It was a couple days, I think. Someone asked, what do you think would have happened if the Crusades never took place? That's a good question, and I could answer it. But then another thought came to my head. They didn't ask this, it just came to my head. What if knights never existed? What if Vikings never existed? What if samurai never existed? Now, this isn't to say, oh, we're going to go into an alternate history thing. No. I'm not nearly that creative. I'm not nearly that capable of giving that kind of sight into what the world might look like without them. But I want to talk about the things that they gave us. The things that we hold from them. Like, what things do the Vikings, knights, and samurai give us in the present that we would be sorely lacking without their place in history? I'm not talking about, oh, well, if the knights didn't conquer this city, then we wouldn't have gotten this place to have Christian values, which would have changed this action in history. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what are the things we apply to these ancient warriors that if they never existed, we might miss. I think it's going to be an interesting discussion video. I can't wait to really talk about it. Me and Lark are actually going to have a conversation about that later. You'll see. It's going to be cool. All right, so next, Dead by Daylight. I am working on the fun fallacy video, which is basically me talking about this fallacy in the Dead by Daylight community, particularly from survivor mains, where they claim that fun is something that the killer should care about for the survivor, like how much fun a survivor has. I've already talked in my previous update video about basically how that works, so you can go check that out if you want. Otherwise, look forward to the video. It should be done hopefully this week. We'll see. Next, the analysis of Nia is going to be coming out. So, going to do Nia Carlton Analyzed. Okay. I'm not a big fan of her character, but we'll talk about her. So, but not a lot else going on Dead by Daylight wise. Gotta eventually practice the nurse, but we'll get there. Anyway, on to writing. Okay, guys, let's be real a second. The Raven's writing room. I've been thinking about this a while. Should I continue it? Now, hear me out. A couple of y'all, especially my longtime fans, have told me that y'all want me to continue it. Here's the reason I question it. Just hear me out before you give your answer in the comments. I love doing the Raven's writing room because I like teaching my tactics and styles and strategies for writing. I do. And I feel like I do it in at least somewhat concise way. But the truth is, they're not my most popular videos. And I want to dedicate time and energy to things that I know people will enjoy seeing. Like, my For Honor videos get the most views, no question. Now, granted, I don't want to just be a For Honor channel. I want to make other things too. But even some of my other videos that don't have to do with For Honor can sometimes get pretty good views. The Raven's Writing Room, with only, I think, the Mary Sue video being the one exception, very rarely do a great job. And there are plenty of other people out there who do much better job than me at talking about writing. You got Mauler, who is incredible. You want to learn a lot about writing and narrative structure? Go watch some of his videos, particularly his critique of The Force Awakens. It's long and it's long-winded, but it has a lot of good advice in there. Then you got Terrible Writing Advice. It's a sarcastic name, trust me. He's not only entertaining, he's fun, he's hilarious, and he does a great job of sarcastically portraying what you should look for in writing specific genres and styles and tropes. It's very fascinating. I love listening to him. He's shown me things that I hadn't thought about. And then, of course, Literature Devil. I actually think Literature Devil is one of the patron saints on YouTube of discussing writing techniques and writing tactics, as well as the problems and strengths of modern day story writing. I love listening to his I love listening to his live streams. He's a very fascinating person to listen to. I actually like Literature Devil. So Mauler, Terrible Writing Advice, and Literature Devil. Just three that I could name off the top of my head, who I think do a phenomenal job of doing what the Raven's Writing Room does, but better. And so I just feel like, hey, if y'all really want good writing advice, I feel like you could check these three out and get just the same thing, if not better. So it's just something that I was thinking about. If you enjoy the Raven's Writing Room, let me know in the comments why, and maybe I'll continue doing them. But right now, I don't have any new Raven's Writing Room ideas planned. And before I start thinking up a new one, I want to make sure that it's something that y'all would enjoy seeing. Just a thought. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. It's just the truth. I want to focus on things that I know y'all will like. Okay. So, Troy and Frost, still going great. Actually, have been planning out the climax with Jay. Got some really cool ideas. Can't wait to keep writing that story. Death Diary is going to get a new chapter very soon, a new entry. Got an idea for it that I want to write out. It's going to be really, really fun. Love writing Death Diary. That one's a fun one. And then, funny thing is, in my last live stream where I talked about Star Wars, lots of people heard me mention that I had a Star Wars sort of fan story going on. And some folks were saying, this story sounds interesting. Would y'all like to know more about it? I'd love to share with you guys my Star Wars story if y'all are interested, but only if y'all are interested. Again, I like to focus on things I know you'll enjoy, so will you enjoy that? Okay, so now the big one, the big thing that I know you guys are waiting to hear about. Me and Lark have been getting for a while a huge amount of requests to talk about Assassin's Creed again, to return to the Assassin's Creed graded thing. We stopped doing it only because it wasn't getting a lot of views, but now with this large group saying, hey, we want you to do it again, we want you to come back to it, here's how Lark and I are going to do this. First, Lark and I will take turns playing one game at a time in order of release. Right now, Lark is playing the first Assassin's Creed game. He is playing through it very carefully, and he is studying it, analyzing it. We're both taking notes on it. Now, we will have an unscripted discussion on the game and discuss aspects to it such as gameplay, historical accuracy, combat mechanics, heroes and villains, and overall story writing. We will assign each game a tier on an AC tier list, and each AC game will get its own video, and thus the tier list will fill up over time. Because this is a fan-requested project, though, please keep us appraised. Let us know that you want us to keep going with this, and because here's the thing, guys, you got to understand, in order for us to fairly judge each game, we need to play each game. Some of these games, particularly as we go further into this franchise, will be very long-winded. We need to know that these are games y'all will enjoy us talking about, and y'all will enjoy seeing us put tier lists to them. Because if we're playing these games, that means I'm not playing For Honor or Dead by Daylight, and Lark isn't playing whatever game he's making a lamentation about. So please let us know that these are things you'd enjoy, because when we're working on these, it's cutting into time that we can spend on other projects. So that's just the only caveat to that. But we are going to go forward with it. Lark's already started the first game. Then we're going to do a discussion video. Look forward to it very soon. Also, yes, I said it before, I'll say it again. There are 2 more response videos to Little Mermaid haters that I'm making. Believe it or not, this was funny. I was actually looking up information for a different video, and I ended up stumbling upon an article about why The Little Mermaid was garbage. And then that led me to finding another article, and then led me to find a video. All of them talking about how bad The Little Mermaid was. Now, granted, I'm not going to say it's a perfect film, but I enjoyed it when I was a kid. So I was kind of curious what was so wrong about it. And after reading and seeing all 3 of these pieces, I have to respond to them. I just have to. So you've already seen my first one of the 3. And believe it or not, that first one was way more tame than what the other 2 are going to give. That one at least made 1 or 2 decent points. These next 2 barely make anything close to a decent point. One is just vitriol, and the other is, I don't even know what to call it, so look forward to that. That's coming up soon. And I might do more response videos of this nature, because if there's one thing I've noticed, as Disney begins releasing more modern and live-action made movies, the old classics are getting more and more panned for very weird reasons, so I might end up defending more classic Disney in the future. Who knows? Also, because I like to shill out my friends, take a look at Hannah's new image, redneck Claire this time. It's adorable. I love it. And also, Mother Claire. That one's an interesting one, and we'll be using that in a minute to talk about Mother's Day stuff, but wanted to share that. And for those of you on my Discord, Hannah now has a channel where we will be posting her link so that you can go to her page and see some of her work. Okay? All right. So, it's time for the rant. Y'all knew it was coming, so let's talk about it. This one should be shorter, but I still want to have it. Here we go. Something that I find very sad in today's modern discourse and form of living is that the nuclear family as a whole, the mother and father dynamic, is either greatly discouraged or seen as old-fashioned. And I find this to be very sad, because I think, genuinely, that there is great value in a two-parent family. I think that there is a lot good to be said of that. Now, when we get to Father's Day, I'll talk more about the father's role, but today, as the other day before was Mother's Day, I want to talk briefly about mothers. My relationship with my mother is awesome. I love my mom. I'm very proud to have her as my mother. Granted, growing up, there were times we got on each other's last nerve, but I mean, that comes with the territory. We're both very passionate people. I know I definitely got my passion from her, my compassion, my love, my creativity. I got a lot of things from my mom. For better or worse, I think I also got being a worrywart from her. I got my anxiety from her, for sure. There are lots of things that we share. And let me be very clear. I'm grateful so much to have the mom I do. To those of you out there who do not have the same kind of relationship with your mother that I do with mine, know that I feel for you, and I know that I was very blessed to have what I do. What I want to say here, more than anything, is I want us to all take a minute. Even though it's the day after Mother's Day, I want to take a minute and help y'all understand what it is to be a mother. Now, granted, I am not a mother. I will never be a mother unless, I mean, if Hannah May works out. I don't know. Hannah may have plans. We never know. I'm joking, of course. My point being a mother, I think what people tend to forget is that being a mother is about being willing to make one of the biggest acts of strength, love, and sacrifice you can imagine. Think about it for a second. When you make the choice to be a mother, when a woman makes a choice to be a mother, you are deciding that you are going to give up your time, energy, money, sleep, patience, all of this for an infant. And what do you get out of it? Well, seemingly nothing. You know, a baby, if you've never worked with babies before, and I'm talking straight up infants, they are needy, whiny, demanding, in constant need of attention and care. They can't feed themselves, go to the bathroom in a toilet. They need constant changing and supervision. They need comfort. They need attention. Babies are needy. But mothers who choose to have them, I've met many new mothers who have said, despite all the stress and difficulty of having a baby, they have never felt more happy. They've never felt more fulfilled. There's a glow about them, you know? And I've met new fathers who have said that their wives who have had children seem brand new, seem totally alive, totally impassioned by having a child. There's beauty in it. There's definite beauty in it. Now, I'm not here to say that a woman's only role is to bear children. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that there is an undeniable fulfillment for some women who wish to have children. Now, does that mean that all women should be mothers? Actually, no. I would argue there are some women who do not have the capacity, patience, or attitude to be mothers. I know some people in this world who should never have been mothers, do not need to be mothers, because I know that any child that they sire would suffer as a result. My point being, to the mothers out there who are willing to make the sacrifice, willing to show that love, show that compassion, and give of themselves during labor and through the raising of this child, you have no idea just how much I and many others appreciate what you do. To my mom, if she watches this, I doubt she will, but if you ever do, know that I love you and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for putting up with me for the 29 years that I have been on this earth. And to those of you mothers out there who I do not know, thank you so much for making the sacrifice to bring your child into this world. Though they may not always say it, and though they may not always know it, they owe everything to you. Sometimes you need to give them a little pop on the head to remind them, as my mom used to do to me. As my mom used to say, I brought you in this world. She never said I'd take you out, but she said, I brought you in this world. And I'd go, you sure did. Anyway, guys, I'll kind of leave it there, but I just wanted y'all to take a minute to recognize being a mother isn't just something like, oh, you know, there's that annoying woman who lets me live in their house and they make food for me. There was a lot more to it than that. There was a conscious decision made that she was going to bring you into this world, for better or worse. And I am blessed, like I said, to have a mother who was there for me, who cared about me, and was willing to raise me through thick and thin. So thank you, Mom. To those of you out there who did not get the chance, I hope that you will find a way to wish your mother a very happy Mother's Day, even though it's a little late. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Like and comment on the video. I always read the comments. And I will, of course, see you in my next video. Take care.